Yes, DC. Yes, this is what we needed. Blue Beetle. What an amazing story. So let's talk about it. Blue Beetle is directed by Angel Manuel Soto. It tells a story about the Blue Beetle, or Jaime Reyes, who becomes the Blue Beetle, played by Zolo Maranduena. So basically the story here is Jaime, played by Zolo, is a college student that just graduated, coming back home to his family and trying to kind of figure out what his purpose is, trying to get a job, trying to see what his degree is going to get him, and as being the first member of his family to get a degree. But his whole life turns around when he meets this person out of the Accords enterprise that gives him a special task to keep this little box safe. And when he finds out that it is the scarab, the ancient scarab, that makes him into the Blue Beetle. Now, this movie was awesome. This is what DC has been needing for the longest time. I love the energy of this movie. So let's go ahead and go on to the pros for me. Like I said, Zolo and his family are a big part of this movie. I thought that was done really well. It's very emotional, and there's a lot of camaraderie between their family. It's honestly a really beautiful kind of casting when you look at it as a whole. Throughout the entire movie, you just have a lot of smiles on your face when you're interacting with Zolo and his family, and even with this whole crazy situation that's going on with him becoming the Blue Beetle and this big corp trying to find them so they can take that ancient power and use it for what they say is good, but it kind of seems like they're going to be using it for bad, because essentially what they're trying to do is trying to get the scarab's power, which makes Zolo the Blue Beetle, and make these kind of super mechs for kind of policing in this city that there are. So I still think it's done really well, how the family reacts to it, how they're always going to be there for Zolo's character, or Jaime, which is named in the movie. So I thought that was done really beautifully. A lot of awesome epic scenes here as well. The fight scenes, the fight sequences are honestly amazing. The choreography was awesome. The camera angles, the way it kind of moves around as the Blue Beetle's fighting all these different kind of combatants. It's honestly super awesome. I was in my seat like, yeah, let's go, come on, that's crazy, let's do that. And it was honestly just an amazing experience. Seeing all these kind of fight sequences, it was honestly done really well by DC. So I thought they did a really good job on Blue Beetle. Another thing that I wasn't really expecting was how kind of emotional this movie is, especially with Jaime and his family. It's very emotional. It's very heartfelt. There's definitely some tearjerkers in there as well, which I thought was awesome to see in this. And not every superhero movie has to be just epic and funny. Getting a couple of tears out on some people, that's kind of what we need sometimes. It just takes you through this emotional roller coaster that I thought was honestly just amazing. I honestly really love this movie. Like, I can't say enough good things about this movie. I thought it was just great. And another thing, of course, it's pretty hilarious. Of course, George Lopez playing as Rudy, Jaime's uncle in the movie. Whenever you have George Lopez in a movie, you already know it's going to be hilarious. And he pretty much brings the majority of the comedy, and it pretty much always landed for me, right? And it's awesome just because you kind of understand it, especially if you're Hispanic and live in a Hispanic family. You kind of know that camaraderie between, uncles, grandparents, parents, siblings. So you definitely feel that Hispanic energy here, which is honestly awesome to see on the big screen, a Hispanic superhero. So again, the comedy was done really well. The camaraderie between the family, the emotions between the family, and just the epicness of the movie was just extremely awesome for me. And I was super happy I was able to see this last night in IMAX. So it was great picture quality. It was very, very beautiful. Now on to the cons for me. Really, the only thing that I can say is a con is the main antagonist, Victoria, played by Susan. I understood why she was there, because she's the kind of the owner of this company that's making these super mechs, trying to take the scarab's power to make these super mechs. I understand her role in this, but I just didn't think her character was really all that interesting. When she was on screen, it seemed really bland. A lot of lines seemed forced. It didn't seem very natural sometimes. So that's probably my only really complaint about the movie, is that some of those scenes with her wasn't always the best. But overall, I think it was still done fantastically, and I understand her role in this movie. Now, essentially, the whole movie as well, it's kind of, in a way, a coming of age story, right? Jaime is already older. He just graduated college, but he's still trying to find his purpose. You know, he doesn't know what he needs to do, and him being kind of this, not knowing what to do person, into getting these powers, trying to get rid of them, and then realizing that he needs to use these powers for good and become the superhero that he never thought he could actually be. And it's just a great character progression, I think. And it was just really nice to see again. So my overall thoughts, I thought this movie was amazing. I think this is probably already in my top movies of the year. For sure, my top movies of August, I think, is one of the best I've seen so far. Movie experience was great. It was a packed theater, lots of laughs. So I thought it was awesome hearing other people laugh alongside when they're understanding all these, jokes and stuff. So it was really great. The only part of the movie experience that I thought was kind of annoying was the person sitting next to me. They were texting throughout the entire movie, which was kind of frustrating. And not only that, they had that notification setting where when you get a text message, your flashlight on your iPhone flashes. So it kept flashing in my eyes constantly. So that was kind of frustrating towards the end of the movie. It didn't happen the entire time, but towards the last 30 minutes, it kind of did. And of course, like any superhero movie, there's always going to be end credit scenes, and I thought it was just such an interesting end credit scene. Nothing crazy happened, but it's definitely setting up some future movies, and I think this is a awesome first addition to the DCU, not the DCEU. Two different things, sort of. But as the Blue Beetle being the first movie of the DCU, I think they knocked it out of the park. This is really what DC needed to kind of step up, and if the movie stayed like this, quality wise from here on out, I think it's gonna be an awesome universe that they're gonna be building here. So it's gonna be amazing to watch. So I'm excited for whatever Blue Beetle comes next, and whatever other DC comic superhero movies come out in the future as well. Now I'm gonna give this a little high rating. For me, this was a 9 out of 10. It could be damn near perfect, but there's still certain things here and there that I had to nitpick, but at the end of the day, I love this movie and I thought it was amazing. So let me know your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go watch it in theaters. It was an awesome movie. Again, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Let me know what movie you would like to see me review next. Of course, I'll be reviewing movies as they come out in the theaters. But again, this is Leo's Nerd Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next review.